Hey everybody, this video is not intended to be racist or anything, but it might come out as racist. But I got a safety tip for all black people. Just a little safety tip on you because I'm concerned for your well-being. Here's the safety tip. Okay? At night, especially in neighborhoods where there aren't a whole lot of headlights, street lights, it would be nice for y'all to cross the street at the actual crosswalks, not to jaywalk. This is actually good advice for all colored people of any colors, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, whatever. Because when it's dark outside, it's harder to see darker colors, right? Even with your headlights on in a car. So, safety tip. If you're of a darker skin color, maybe, just like people who ride bikes put reflective gear on so that other cars can see them, maybe you should also put reflective gear on so people can see you. Just saying. Because, if Black Lives really matter, Black Lives Matter, y'all would care about your own safety and you would use the crosswalks that the taxpayers pay hundreds of thousands of dollars, billions of dollars for, so that you pedestrians could cross the streets in the proper areas instead of jaywalking, which is a crime, by the way. I don't know if anybody ever prosecutes for that crime, but it is illegal. It is supposed to be illegal to jaywalk. Yeah, I ate with a silver spoon. I bought them myself. I'm privileged. I'm a privileged white man. I had to buy my own silver spoons. Yeah. And, yeah. If y'all want to claim that anybody is racist, you should claim that fast food restaurants are the most racist. They're systematically racist. They intentionally place all their fast food places in urban neighborhoods. Think about that. Urban, which are predominantly black neighborhoods. You ever think about that? Think about it. Fast food restaurants have some of the most unhealthy food. And diabetes, obesity, and high blood pressure are major issues in the black community. But the black community also has the most unhealthy fast food restaurants in that community. So who truly are being the racists? The fast food companies trying to make money, getting rich. Most of these fast food places are owned by white people, rich white people. And they're run by rich white people. But they place their restaurants not in the rich white people community, not in the white people community, but the urban, poor, black people community, where their products are designed to increase diabetes, increase high blood pressure, and increase obesity. And then they get famous black celebrities to sponsor their new product. I mean, on the commercials for fast food restaurants, you see famous black people like celebrities and sports and whatnot, sponsoring excuse me, this new like burger or whatever. So yeah. Anyway, so just before you accuse me of racism, get on to them fast food restaurants for being racists. Rich white people making money off of other people. Now, maybe, just maybe, if y'all would have did what Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X both done told y'all to do, and do this one weird, interesting thing called invest in your own community, which is what the Asians do. It's what the Muslims do. It's what the... Who owns the liquor store in the poor black neighborhood? Or better yet, who owns all the convenience stores in the poor black neighborhoods? Muslims, Arabs, right? Sheiks, right? Sikhs, I mean. They're not run and owned and operated by local black community members, are they? No. They're owned and operated by rich white people controlled oil companies, which are also Arab Muslim controlled oil companies. They're making money off of you. Think about that. When y'all could be making money off yourselves. See, the Jewish community, the Asian community, and the Muslim community or Arab community all understand that the dollar bill, every time they spend a dollar bill, it needs to be spent with someone within their community. So, as much as possible, so that the dollars stay within the community, which makes the community get richer. So the main thing is you want to get people from other communities to spend money in your community, but you want to keep your community's money within the community. So with Asians usually eat at other Asian restaurants. They shop with other Asian people, Asian companies. Mexicans, they trade with other Mexicans. Hispanics, they trade with other Hispanics. The Jews trade with other Jews. The Muslims trade with other Muslims. And so on and so forth. But the black people in the black community, they shop at restaurants not owned by blacks. They shop at grocery stores and convenience stores not owned by blacks. They rent from apartments not owned by blacks. They do their laundry at the laundromat, which probably isn't run and owned by a black either. And when they get loans from non-black owned banks. And when they do get loans from, instead, and even when they deal bad things, which happen in the black neighborhoods occasionally, bad things are dealt, such as drugs, street guns, illegal stuff like that. The black people will trade with the black people for that, but they don't get their product from black people. they get their product from. Usually down south of the border or stolen merchandise. So you're harming yourselves when you trade illegal or stolen merchandise. Also notice that the pawn shops are pawn shops pawn shops are the worst. They have monthly percentage rate of interest. All right. Pawn shops and rent a center type places are the worst. You would be better off to sell the item yourself at a yard sale than you would be to take it to the pawn shop. You'd be better off to buy straight up for cash than you would to be renting something. But these rent a center places, these places where you rent to roll, rent to ride, rent to own, rent a center, whatever, these places are to work. They have the highest interest rates imaginable because they don't charge you based off of, they charge you by the month, and they charge you a monthly percentage rate. Pawn shops are just as bad. All right. Here's the deal. They're terrible because they charge crazy interest, which I'm going to talk about how interest and usury is wrong and how we could change that in a future video, but not right now. Anyway, where are pawn shops and these rent a place is located? Where are a whole bunch of used car lots are actually pretty bad too. Kind of for the same reason, but so are new car. All car lots are really bad. Is if you're gonna buy a car, you're better off buy a car cash, a used car, and buy it from a private individual seller than you would be to buy it from a car lot, because car lots are gonna make you pay interest up the nose. Just don't buy anything on credit. It's basically my advice for you. But a lot of these used cars places are in the, again, poor urban, mostly black neighborhoods. A bunch of the pawn shops are, again, in the poor urban, mostly black neighborhoods. And a bunch of the check cashing, title loan, rent to ride, rent to roll, rent to own, appliance, etc. shops are, again, all in these same neighborhoods. Now, they don't have products that one could afford. Think about that. They intentionally keep in high-end products or high-end merchandise that already cost a lot and try to convince the poor people to buy something they can't afford and then to pay monthly notes on it. Stuff also the majority of people don't need. You don't need the super huge surround sound system. You need better hearing. Which, if y'all would stop, just another side safety note for you and safety tip and advice. If you quit listening to your music so dang loud in your cars and in your houses and everything else, your hearing would improve. The reason why your hearing is bad is because the music is too loud. You have to turn the music up louder and louder and louder. No. Stop using earbuds and earpods and AirPods and headphones and whatnot to listen to your music or to listen to anything. just listening to it at a normal volume, and you should be fine. The reason people's hearing is bad is because everything's too loud. If everything was softer and not so loud, and y'all don't realize that listening to louder music because you have bad hearing actually makes your hearing worse. You don't realize that you should be listening to softer music. This is a bad problem with a lot of people. They also don't realize that if they can't hear, they speak up louder when they don't need to speak up louder themselves. Like, which causes other people to speak up louder. Because when one person speaks up louder, even if they're not yelling, that calls someone else to yell, and so on and so forth. So it just makes the other person get louder, and then you have to get louder, and so on and so forth. So, yeah. Anyway, that's just some thoughts of the morning day while eating breakfast. Little tangents or whatnot, because I know I got one subscriber who loves the tangents and vlog videos and whatnot, so he'll probably get a kick out of this one. But as I disclaimed at the beginning, not trying to be racist or anything, but seriously, you black communities, poor urban neighborhoods could do better, and even Martin Luther King and Malcolm X would agree with me on the issues of why aren't you spending and trading your money with other black people? Why are you breaking the laws? Why are you trading in illegal and stolen merchandises? And just don't do stuff like that. Why are y'all joining gangs and fighting each other over turf wars when y'all could be helping each other? Why are y'all? I mean, have y'all looked? I mean, if you go into the poorest urbanist neighborhoods, they're some of the most junkiest, dirtiest, urban blight areas you can imagine. Y'all could clean up your own neighborhoods. I mean, seriously, homelessness is an issue. Eviction is bad. Right? Because you don't buy your own homes. You don't pass them on generation to generation. You don't trade and create businesses in the community that are black owned businesses. Matter of fact, the Hispanics have been moving in America a lot, and they've been doing exactly what they're supposed to do. They've been taking over economically, financially. There's a whole bunch of different Hispanic owned restaurants. If you look, a lot of the tire shops and auto mechanic places are Hispanic owned tire shops, mechanic places. So, they trade with one another. They get all the people in the neighborhood to also trade with them. There are some. Okay. There's a couple of these Asian restaurants, or there's this one. Let me just give you an example. There's one Asian owned restaurant, and then there's this like Asian owned grocery store. Now, the Asian owned restaurant, you hardly ever see any uh, clientele. Question is, how do they stay in business when you don't see that many people? It's not hard to stay in business when all your clientele are other Asians. All it would take is everybody in the Asian community to eat one meal a week, even if it's just a takeout order, for your Asian restaurant to stay in business. That's how it stays in business. Pick up, takeouts, whatever. That's probably how it stays in business. That's how a lot of these Asian businesses that look like they don't have very many clientele stay in business. If every if every Mexican restaurant just has all the Mexican community eat there once a month, they'd stay in business. But if they have all the other people come in and eat too, stay in business. Exactly. Well, that's how you could stay in business and look like you don't have that much clients. If you had a clothing store, all it takes is every member of that community come in and buy one piece of clothing, you'd be in business forever. It's not that hard to stay in business if you all support one another. That means that your business, as you a business owner, you'd have to go and shop at all the other black owned community businesses too. They have to shop with you, you have to shop with them. You have to trade with one another. It's how the Jews do it, it's how the Muslims do it, it's how the Arabs do it, it's how the Hispanics do it, it's how the Asians, Chinese, Japanese, whatever, Hispanic, Mexicans, all of them do that. Even the white people do it, but we do it less, but we do it more. We do it less than all those groups, but we do it more than the blacks. I'm just going to throw it out there. Also, there's only one race because Jesus didn't die for multiple races. He died for one race, the human race, sinners. And anyway, remember, God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. Keep on gaming. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Jesus, Lord, Jesus, God, Jesus, Lord, Jesus, King, Jesus. Now, side note, this doesn't necessarily have to be a race issue because any group of people that wanted to could get together and do this. That's why you see family-owned businesses doing it. Where everybody's related and it's a family. They trade with one another type deals. Also, you can see like a group, a community. Like if a actual community decided to be hardline community oriented, and which where they all had like standards and sets of rules, and everybody traded with everybody within the community. You have a tight knit community where would not necessarily be the people. You could have people of all different races in that community, but the community could still be tight knit community, right? It could happen, um, and they would like usually communities of this nature are small communities, but they rely heavily on tourism and selling and exporting stuff from their community out. So they're kind of like farm communities sometimes. They rely on they shop with each other within the community. Everybody knows everybody, and they rely heavily on tourism or people stopping through that town because maybe that town is the only stop for another 20, 40, whatever, something miles, right? 50, 100 miles possible. But then they have a lot of farming, so they ship their food products, which is important. They don't buy very much from outside because they do try to make sure everything they need is within. So they sell everything they can out, keep everything they can within, and trade within one another, which makes the community itself richer, regardless of the race or the people that live there. Small towns can do that. Bigger towns could do it too, but it works better. It seems to work better the smaller the group, but it really doesn't. It just seems that way. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and that's enough jibber jabbering, jaws, jabber, jibber, jaws, jaws. I'm going to probably do 2 more of these vlog rant videos. One, I'm going to talk about diversity and inclusion. Another one, I want to talk about debt. So, stay tuned. I'm going to hold on.